Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Blissed? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota at GCN. I'm Vincent Finelli. If you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Dr. Shealy, welcome.
Good morning, Vincent. How y'all?
I am blissed, Dr. Shealy. Are you?
Always. Goes with the territory.
Yeah, it does. It puts a grin on my face. You know, Dr. Shealy, we heard at the top of the hour a news report about microcephaly and attributed to the Zika virus. And it's landed in the United States yesterday. There was a baby born with, we'll say, a smaller than normal head. And here it is in the United States, and it's being blamed on the Zika virus. Do you think that there's a concern for its spreading here in the United States, or what are your thoughts?
Well, of course. You know, and there are a lot of people who are saying this is a contrived thing. I don't know. Good grief. Everything, the government is fiddling everything since yellow fever and syphilis. I mean, the government is notorious for getting involved in these things. On the other hand, yellow fever and smallpox and all those things were not developed by government. They were spontaneous, and they've been manipulated by government through the years.
So are you saying, Dr. Shealy, that this type of a disease can be used as a weapon and exploited as maybe fevers have and syphilis have?
Of course. Anything. The government manipulates everything, including the air.
Yeah, it's very sad, and I've been thinking about the government lately and how many things that they've touched and destroyed, including outer space, including the oceans. You know, if it weren't for the governments, we wouldn't have radioactive and toxic waste in the oceans.
Radioactive and chemical. Let's face it, the government is, in the long run, responsible for the huge 550,000 poison chemicals that the government allows Monsanto and other companies to put into the environment every year.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Shealy, have you seen a series called House of Cards? It's on Netflix, House of Cards.
I have not. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, I think, it's fiction, but I believe it's a documentary as well. It's about corruption at the highest levels. It's about the sum of individual greed. It's about how Congress and the Senate and the presidency have all been compromised, and everyone has a gun to each other's heads, and they're all bribing and manipulating and coercing and threatening and terrorizing each other for their own personal benefit. And who suffers? Everyone around them, including, let's attack this little country because we need a distraction. So we'll go attack a foreign sovereign nation. We'll bomb them, and then they'll call for an airstrike, and they'll say, well, no, call it off, just as it's about to happen, because the political winds have changed. Now, not that and then you find generals who they have their own personal greed, and then you have the press secretary for the president. I mean, that position is just paid lying. It's disgraceful. I mean, how anybody could sign up. I mean, what do you do if you want to apply for that position? Say, wait a minute, I can lie better than anybody else. I deserve this position because.
Well, all I can say is, as far as I can tell, Congress, the White House, and I suspect all of Wall Street are interrelated crooks. Period.
Yeah.
They're all crooks. I wouldn't trust 1% of them.
I agree. Dr. Shealy, in Australia and Germany, they've been experimenting with traffic lights, and they've lowered them. They've lowered the height of the traffic lights to street level. and this is because there are so many people addicted to their cell phones, and they're looking down, not forward, not up, not out, just down. They're looking down, and the number of pedestrian and automobile accidents has increased because people are not looking where they're going. 17% of the people, according to this study that I've read in Australia, are not paying attention. They're looking down while they're crossing the street. Now,
no wonder so many people get killed crossing the streets, huh?
Right. I was watching a video of an automobile accident where a car absolutely lost control and was able to get maybe 6 other cars involved in a massive, horrific accident where a Jeep flipped through the air. I mean, it was horrible what happened. And the first thing, of course, that comes to my mind is texting or talking on the phone when driving. But they say in this study that if you look at the age group 25 to 35 years of age, that 10-year group, 25 to 35 years of age, the number of people glued to their cell phones while crossing the street is about 25%. Now, I see videos of people on the street, like in a New York City type environment. They've got headphones in their ears. They're listening to whatever they're listening to while they're walking down the street, or they're skateboarding and in California and listening to something with these earbuds in their ears. I even see people traveling in their vehicles with earbuds, both of them. It looks like they're dancing to some kind of music while they're driving. The point is, when I'm behind the wheel, and I'm sure the same with you, we need our ears to hear the sound of the engine, the sounds of the running gear, the sounds of those vehicles around us, the sound of maybe an approaching tractor trailer, a truck, a motorcycle. We need to be completely in tune with our surroundings in order to safely travel down the highways and the byways. But I don't believe it's possible.
How about even the sidewalks?
Right.
I mean, think of the people walking down the sidewalks, talking to, listening to, texting to their dumb phone.
Well, and the question I have for you as a medical doctor and expert in medicine, Dr. Shealy, is it possible to multitask at that level where it would...
Not safely.
Yeah. I remember years ago traveling 1,100 miles in the truck, and I would use a headset, and frankly, it frightened me because after like 5 or 10 minutes, I would say, "Well, I don't remember traveling that far. How did I get from there to here? I don't remember it." Now, obviously, I was able to do it. And then I said, "This is nuts. This is absolutely crazy. You can't talk, and operate a vehicle at the same time." And I think the same is true for crossing the street. And not paying attention to the sounds of traffic. I mean, not everybody stops for red lights.
Of course not. Purposely.
And the last thing I want to do
is, let's say you're right at the white line, and you're going even 30 miles an hour, and the light turns to yellow. Well, you don't have any choice.
Mm-hmm.
You'd cause a wreck if you try to put in your brakes at the white line. But if you're behind the white line by 10 or 20 feet, you should put on your brakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even when it turns yellow.
I was taught that yellow meant prepare to stop. No, seriously.
Right. I agree.
That's what I was taught back in the late 60s when I was learning the rules of the road. Was yellow means prepare to stop. Now, I don't know if they've changed the rules, but really what it meant was you should always be ready for that green light to go to yellow. And if it's safe, stop. If it's not safe, keep going. And if you're in the intersection, don't stop, keep going when the light turns yellow. I mean, that's what I was taught.
But
I remember reading that.
If you're texting, not paying attention, you don't even know when it's turned yellow.
Right.
You may not even know when it's turned red.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm hearing of more and more traffic accidents. And of course, we used to laugh at the stories, maybe 10 or 12 years ago of guys in New York City walking into fire hydrants while they were texting, and they just walk right into them, castrate themselves. I mean, literally, we used to laugh at that. Now, how can anybody be so stupid? But now it looks like it's gotten so serious that we are going to put traffic lights in the road, in the sidewalks, so that when we're looking down, we can say, it was a red light. I guess that's up ahead. While we're looking down.
Oh, my. The foibles of humans.
Yeah. Dr. Shealy, shampoo. I was in the shower this morning, and I was thinking about shampoo. And I remember hearing a guy on the radio in Philadelphia many, many years ago. And he said that you should change your shampoo like once a month. So if you have this favorite brand of red or blue or green or yellow or whatever, or clear shampoo, whatever it is, your body builds up a resistance to it or a tolerance to it or absorbs too much of it, and you should change it and once a month. When we come back, can you tell us what your thoughts are?
Absolutely.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I'm a former 22-year congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I'm here to tell you about something that just might save your lives. You never know when there will be another Katrina, an economic collapse, or a serious drought. We should all have a little food storage that will carry us through tough times. I'm going to tell you about a great way to do that. A U.S. company named Harvest Right has a kitchen appliance that can help you be prepared. It's a home freeze dryer. With the product, you can preserve the foods your family loves. And the best part is the food will last 25 years and still taste great. I've tried it and it's amazing. With a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you can literally freeze dry anything you eat, even things like ice cream. To learn more, call Harvest Right today at 800-594-4635 or go to harvestright.com. That's 800-594-4635 or harvestright.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
NormShealy.com. If you'd like to sign up for the same newsletter that I get, NormShealy.com. NormShealy.com. Dr. Shealy, so I was listening to the radio many years ago, and there was this broadcaster in Philadelphia, and he talked about changing shampoos and how important it is to not use the same shampoo day after day after day, and for sure change it every month because of, well, maybe the lice become resistant to the insecticides that are in shampoo and so forth. What are your thoughts on changing shampoo?
Well, basically, the number one thing to me is to look for shampoos that just have basically soap in them. When you begin to get all the other artificial things, yes, you probably should change, but in my opinion, you should change never to use them.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there's sodium lauryl sulfate and
right.
Laurel this, that, and the other, and I consider that an insult to my daughter whose name is Laurel. But yes. The point is that I don't like those artificial junk things, in that sodium lauryl sulfate is even put in a lot of toothpaste.
Okay, so the plan is just to use maybe a more of a natural soap or on your hair? Because that's what I do a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, why do you want a testosterone killer, if you will, in anything?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is that what we're doing, Dr. Shealy, by using these? Well, I know some guys who have come to our farmhouse, stayed overnight, and they bring their body wash. And, I get in the shower and I go, what's this? I look at it and it's body wash. I'm thinking, there's a bar of soap right there.
Oh, but it's so chic.
Yeah.
So up with smartphones.
Yeah, so what's with the body wash? Now, I've been a guest at other homes, and they have these tubes or bottles. You just squeeze out the body wash, and it's like it's a liquid soap. I'm befuddled. I'm absolutely befuddled. Whatever happened to just using soap? And the idea is to loosen the surface tension of the grime, and off comes the grime and the oils, and down the drain it goes, and let's recycle that water. I mean, that's what I thought was the way to go, not add fragrances that stay on the body, and add chemicals that that might make us more feminine if we're masculine, and more masculine if we're feminine. And by the way, it seems to be happening.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that you brought it up in soap, but it's sort of the same thing in food, Vince. In other words, it's the chemicalization of life.
The chemicalization of life. I remember being in at the university back in the 1970s, and there was this girl in one of the classes that I attended, and she was telling me, well, if it's a new product, she would try it. It didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter what it was. If it was a new health and beauty aid, she would try it. She'd rub it on her skin. I mean, whatever it was, a fragrance, a lotion, a potion, an intimate product, she'd use it. And it seemed ridiculous to me, absolutely ridiculous, that she was not concerned. I met others at the university, and if I had a cold, they'd say, "Oh, well, here, take something for that." I mean, you certainly don't sniffle. You certainly don't want to do that. I mean, that sounds like it's miserable sniffling. They've got lotions and potions and powders and liquids and pills and capsules. You can fix that. And I didn't do that kind of stuff, Dr. Shealy. I just I decided that I would let nature take its course as best I could. Well, and it seemed to work in the long run.
I mean, there are two big problems with those over-the-counter things. One is they have something in them very similar to adrenaline. And so they cause a stress reaction in itself. And the other is they have certain so-called antihistamines, which are very bad for your brain. I mean, the excess of adrenaline is bad for the body as a whole in the long run, but the ephedrine, that is, or pseudoephedrine.
Attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas, is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Vaping enthusiasts, head to vaporpalace.com. Choose from over 150 flavors and a selection of exclusive private stock vapor liquid you won't find anywhere else. New flavors are added every month, and our customer service is unbeatable. Vaporpalace.com offers 15% off all vapor liquid on Fridays and get 10% off every order with coupon code VAPOR10 at checkout. Combine the codes on Fridays for 25% off. The ultimate destination for the vaping enthusiast. Vaporpalace.com.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, Don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 pain hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Imagine your life 5 years from now. Are you on the path you want to be on? It's time to take control of your future by getting a world-class education from one of the nation's top universities. Arizona State University is now offering over 100 top-tier degree programs 100% online. It's the exact same degree our on-campus students receive, but you can learn from anywhere in the country on your own schedule. For information, call 1-800-939-9634. Learn from ASU's world-renowned faculty and use ASU's global recognition to improve your visibility, professional network, and gain real-world experience you can start using today. The Wall Street Journal ranked ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates. Now discover how ASU Online can stand out on your resume and help separate you from the competition. We're ready to help you learn to thrive in your life, in your career, and beyond. To learn more about ASU online degrees, call 1-800-939-9634. That's 1-800-939-9634.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books, and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code RADIO15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
That's Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and we're talking about the use of over-the-counter medicines. And Dr. Shealy and I have independently come up with the same question, and I'm looking forward to his answers. It's about the use of over-the-counter cold medicines, and it's linked to dementia. Tylenol PM, Advil PM, ZZZ, Quill have been linked to problem solving, short-term memory issues, verbal reasoning, planning problems. Dr. Shealy, can you share with us, and we're talking about antihistamines, like Benadryl.
Well,
what's going on with
personally gave up the use of antihistamines 40 years ago because my brain doesn't function. I mean, I can imagine that taking them for a week would put me into total inability to function at all. And I'm amazed that people can take this crap and survive. So, yeah, antihistamines damage the ability of the brain to think right, focus.
Well, I just went to the internet and I typed in Walmart, allergy medicine. And so for $4, you can get 100 capsules of antihistamine, 100 of these, for $4. They're Equate brand. And so this is common, Dr. Shealy. You can go into any Walmart and just buy these.
Of course.
You don't need a prescription. You don't even need to, just go buy them. If you have $4 plus tax, and tax. So your concern is exactly what this post that I was reading about says. Memory issues, planning issues, verbal reasoning, and problem solving. Is that right?
Right. Well, remember, memory is associated with acetylcholine. That's a chemical the brain needs. And these are, quote, anticholinergic drugs. So they are actually, their primary effect is to stop your ability to make acetylcholine, which is critical for memory. So it's not surprising to me that it can lead to serious long-term brain damage.
And, this is one of the things that we're hearing more and more about. I can't tell you how many people, Dr. Shealy, are telling me, I can't remember the way I used to be able to, or I forgot. And I think we're making the situation worse with the cell phones. I think the cell phones have become a crutch. So when we go to the store, maybe the husband will call and say, "What was I supposed to get?" I remember we talked about it. I'm here. What aisle am I supposed to be in? And what am I supposed to? Okay, hold on. Let me get that. Let me put it in the cart. Okay, what was the next thing? So it seems that we can't remember. Okay, get rice, get beans, get some chopped meat, get some stewed tomatoes, get some celery. Well, not celery. Get some romaine lettuce, get some whole tomatoes, and I'll see you when you get back here. So, what was that? I'll tell you what. Let me go to the produce section. We can't remember from aisle to aisle what we're doing, Dr. Shealy.
Right.
And it's not just the 60-year-olds or the 70 or the 80s. It's the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, and the 20s too.
Well, it could be 5-year-olds if they're giving them antihistamines.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so what do we do if we have that runny nose?
Well, blow your nose. That's what Kleenex is for.
I've got a question for you. I got a call. I was down under the weather for several days, and Werner Bach from New Brunswick, Canada, called in to check with my wife, see how I was doing, and he suggested that if you have a sinus problem, you drink some milk, diluted milk, a little bit of coffee, and you want that mucus rather than the opposite. You want that mucus and you want to get it out of your system. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. You don't want to block it or stuff your nose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then these medications that we're talking about just alleviate the symptoms, but not the cause, and don't cure the problem.
Well, I would say they are typical of drugs. In other words, physicians and a lot of people ignore the so-called side effects. Now, to me, it is not a side effect if it damages your memory. It's a complication.
That's a serious complication.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to get that back.
Well, I guess most people using it temporarily can get by with it. As I said, I learned 40 years ago that I didn't like the fact that antihistamines just made my brain go crazy.
All right. How about this? There's a post that I was reading that says that a chemical found in plastic food containers can weaken children's teeth irreversibly by stopping enamel from developing properly. It goes on to talk about bisphenol A, Bisphenol.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, it's carcinogenic. I mean, forget about some of the less serious complications or side effects.
Wow. So this is a huge problem, Dr. Shealy, because if you go to a Chinese fast food restaurant or a Chinese restaurant and you have takeout, it's in a plastic container. You go to the Olive Garden, it's in a plastic container. If you drink out of a plastic bottle like soda, which you shouldn't do anyway, it's in a plastic bottle or a can, or a water bottle. It's in a plastic bottle, and they contain, many of them, BPA or bisphenol A. We are surrounded by this, Dr. Shealy.
Yes, we are. And the ocean is being filled with it. I mean, I'm sure you remember some of the articles showing,
Yeah, islands of plastic bottles. And turtles being, what would you call them? They crawl through one of these rings that hold six-packs together, these plastic binders that hold six-packs of beer and soda or whatever together, and cans or bottles, and they just end up in the ocean, and fish get caught in them, and then they get constricted. It's like putting on a belt that will not, you cannot make it larger, and then you grow to be an adult with a child-sized belt around your waist. It's absolutely horrible what's happening. And so, class, when you throw things out, it doesn't go away. You just don't see it. It's still there. It is still there. It's just out of sight. And that's something that probably we should do, Dr. Shealy, is somehow get the manufacturers to stop using this over-packaging. And the only way I can think of to do that is to return it to them.
COD.
Well, that's what when they put in a Burger King in this little hamlet we lived in the East Coast in Virginia, we got Burger King wrappers, 5-mile radius. We didn't have them until Burger King came in, and people just threw the food wrapping out their windows. And so what I did was I collected the Burger King wrappers, and I got them over time, and I stored them until I had enough, and then I'd go through the drive-in. They say, I'm returning this to you. You left them at my house, along the road. And eventually they started putting up signs telling their patrons, please don't throw your trash out, out the window. Because it ended up back at Burger King. Guys like me would bring it back to them through the drive-thru. So I don't know what else to do about that, but this bisphenol A is in refillable drink bottles. I mean, let's say you get one of these plastic water bottles, you think you're doing the right thing and you refill it up, but it's plastic and it contains bisphenol A. If you get a can of beans, there's a lining. It looks like the can, if you open up the can, it looks, wow, you can rinse it out and it's really clean looking. Well, it has BPA as a liner of the cans. They used to have a different kind of liner, metallic liner. Now they've used bisphenol A. And it says, Dr. Shealy, that scientists have determined that low doses of bisphenol A can harm a sperm count and even contribute to obesity, which is everywhere.
Well, basically, they damage testosterone, they increase estrogen, which men don't need, and they are carcinogenic. I mean, it's
Dr. Shealy,
almost, maybe it's as bad as nuclear energy.
Dr. Shealy, when you went to school, I'm talking about elementary school, because I was thinking, just a second ago when I was in elementary school, I do not remember the term man boobs. There was no such term.
I don't remember that either.
Well, we didn't have them. Nobody had them. No man had man boobs that I know of. Now it's common. Now some young girls would say, I'd like to have a set like that.
I've told 2 or 3 of my patients that. I know some teenagers would be, very envious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I mean. Kyle in Montana, welcome. You're on with Dr. Norman Shealy.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'll wait until after the break.
You know what? I've got to adjust my clock. So I can put these tabs on it and tell me when we're going into commercial breaks. Kyle, we'll be right back. I'm so glad you called, but it'll take a couple minutes for us to process these few short commercial announcements. Dr. Shealy is with us, normshealy.com. I'm Vin Finelli. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
Class Dr. Shealy is with us, and Kyle Harris in Montana has just called in. Kyle, please continue.
Yeah, I was going to ask Dr. Shealy. I had this persistent cough, I don't know, about a year ago that just wouldn't go away. And so what I make my own colloidal silver and stuff. And so I picked up one of those little nasal spray bottles, and I put the colloidal silver in it, and I sucked it down in my lungs. I just blow all the air out, and then as soon as when I breathe back in, I'd squirt, 2 deals of this stuff back in my lungs, and then I'd squirt it up in my nasal passages because I had this, drip was going down the back of my throat that is driving me crazy. And within about I did it for 2 days, but within the first 24 hours, that cough was gone. And I was wondering, is there any kind of a drawback to doing something along those lines?
I don't think so. I mean, colloidal silver is about 1 billion times safer than an antibiotic.
Okay. All right. And then I had one other question for you. Dealing with this Zika virus you guys were talking about earlier, I have tried tons and tons of different natural mosquito repellents, and I have yet to find one that really works better than DEET. I hate putting that stuff on your skin, but at the same point, I was wondering, how do you know of anything? I have found one incredible thing for DEET. This just to the class to try. If you've got headlights on your car that are foggy, really bad, how they get oxidized really bad, you spray DEET on it, and it will remove that oxidation within a couple minutes. You rub it and rub it and rub it. It takes maybe about 2 minutes per headlight, but they will come out looking like brand new. It is amazing. But I was just going to ask you, do you know of anything that'll stop the mosquitoes? I've tried lemon oil. I've tried citronella. I've tried that Avon Skin So Soft. I've tried tons of stuff, and I just cannot seem to find anything that works consistently.
It's interesting. I'm one of those people, fortunately, who mosquitoes don't like particularly, so I'm not. But I have learned that a mixture of tea tree oil and lavender oil with isopropyl alcohol, 1/3 each, sprayed on the ankles, prevents ticks and chiggers from coming on. And I would bet that it would repel mosquitoes.
Okay, you said lavender oil, tea tree oil, and alcohol.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. I'd love to try it.
You could put it in a little spray bottle and spray it on, and that would be a lot safer for the skin than DEET.
Yeah, right.
Kyle,
I don't like using it.
I have an answer for you. Dr. Shealy recommended many years ago to me and on this broadcast classroom a product made by a company called Cedarside, CEDARCIDE. Cedarside.com. I'll spell it one more time. CEDARCIDE.com. It's a cedar oil product. And we use that on the farm. So if the dogs get fleas and ticks, we'll just a light spray. We avoid spraying their faces, of course, their eyes and their mouths and their nose. Absolutely stops the fleas and ticks. Absolutely stops them. Not forever. Not forever. And I will spray that on my blue jeans and my footwear, if I go out and if I'm going to be in the field. It absolutely, positively works. Cedarside.com. This is not a commercial. It's an endorsement. And how did I learn about it? Dr. Shealy. Did you want to hold through the break?
No, that's okay. Thanks, Vince.
Hey,
okay.
All
right. Thanks very much, Kyle. Dr. Shealy and I will be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to. if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
The best-kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, medical doctor, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. Dr. Shealy, I received a request from a 35-year-old lady who listens to this broadcast, and she says that she was diagnosed with a urinary tract infection. Fever, chills, memory loss, having trouble at work, difficulty concentrating at work. And so, she's been to doctor after doctor after doctor. No one seemed to figure it out. And all of a sudden, she decided to try a new doctor. And the new doctor at one of these urgent type clinics said, let's test for a urinary tract infection. And they determined that she had one. What is a urinary tract infection, Dr. Shealy, for a 35-year-old woman or so? And what do we need to be concerned about with urinary tract infections?
95% of urinary infections are E. coli, one of the common gut flora, but the bladder doesn't like it. And there are antibiotics to use, and there are a couple of antibiotics, some in the quinolone family, that can have terrible effects on your blood sugar and your memory. But the treatment of choice, in my opinion, is D-mannose, M-A-N-N-O-S-E. Interestingly, mannose is absorbed and excreted in the bladder, but it's not metabolized. So, none of it is broken down in the body. And E. coli happens to like mannose better than it likes your bladder. So it'll hop onto the mannose and you urinate it away. And so for 95% of urinary tract infections, it is, in my opinion, definitely the item of choice.
Okay, so to spell this, it would be the letter D and then hyphen M-A-N-N-O-S-E. Is that correct?
That is correct. It'd be about 1 teaspoon twice a day. I prefer, in this case, to use the powder rather than the capsules because I know the dose better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 1 teaspoon 2 times a day. And then for how many days?
Well, if you've got an acute one, I think 5 to 7 days will take care of it. If it's chronic, it might take several weeks.
Okay. Are there any concerns that you have?
Theoretically, you could take it almost indefinitely.
Okay. And do you take it with food, without food?
I'm not sure it matters.
Okay. Okay. And what are the concerns that you have, Dr. Shealy, for someone who has a urinary tract infection? Can it be serious?
Well, of course. It can get into your bloodstream.
Okay.
It can damage your kidneys. It's an infection is an infection, no matter what the bug. And so any infection means that your entire immune system is on alert. And depending upon the strength of your immune system, it depends, it determines how sick you are and how much it spreads into other organs.
Okay, so if this student of USA Prepares decides to follow the treatment of her doctor and use a course of antibiotics that he or she may recommend, do you have any concern over that? Well,
Again, there is a place for antibiotics, and that 5%, especially who don't have E. coli as the organism. If you're going to take antibiotics, I strongly recommend that you take. I prefer plain Greek yogurt. In general, the antibiotics are given 2 to 3 times a day. And so you want to take it halfway between doses, because if you take it with a dose of antibiotic, the antibiotic will kill the probiotics. But if you take it halfway between, it'll help protect your gut from some of the complications of antibiotics.
Okay. Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. And what if that's not available? Is there a second choice?
Well, there are capsules. The number one capsule, in my opinion, is one called G as in George, R number 8, Dophilus. It's got 8 different strains of probiotics in it. You could take 4 of those a day.
Okay. So my understanding is D-mannose, 1 teaspoon twice a day. And in between that, Greek yogurt, plain. And do that for 5 to 7 days.
Right.
Okay. What about someone who has ear pressure? We got a question from one of our students about pressure behind the ears, both of them, pain, and the doctor says, well, ears look good to me.
Well,
could it be something else?
There are many things that don't show up even on the physical exam. I presume that such a person has no other symptoms. Because often ear infections go along with any kind of upper respiratory or sinus infection.
Okay.
But they can happen without, and obviously there are some other unknown rare disorders that can cause it. What I would probably do is put a drop of castor oil in the ear.
Okay. Now, when you've mentioned castor oil in the past, that's USP.
So that's when you're putting in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that someone's already looked in the ear and you know the eardrum is intact, I think the regular external castor oil would be okay.
Okay. Dr. Shealy, when we talk about survival and preparedness, is castor oil something that we should have in our medical kit, maybe in our kitchen cabinet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My favorite use of castor oil is actually in a sauna. If you want to detox the body, and toxicity is common, you rub castor oil over your entire body and go into a sauna for 20 or 30 minutes. That's the easiest way to do it. Now, you can do it other ways. You can put a cup of castor oil in the bathtub of hot water and soak in that, but it's a mess, to clean. You have to shampoo yourself in the tub, whole body and everything twice before you try to get out. Or you can actually rub it from the bottom of your neck all the way down to your wrist and all the way down to your ankles and put on a sweatsuit and sleep in it. That is certainly less messy than the bath. But the simplest is 20 minutes in a sauna if you have access to one.
Okay. And if you don't have a sauna, as many of us don't.
Well, then I would use the castor oil suit, the old sweatsuit that you're going to sleep in, because it's not very messy at all. Most of it's been absorbed through the night, and unless you really slather it on rather heavily, you don't need to worry about it coming through the suit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Looks like we've got Deborah in Kentucky. Welcome, Deborah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I heard quite a bit of static. Am I coming through okay?
You're doing just great.
Static.
All right. Dr. Shealy, my number one question this morning, I have a second if there's time, that would just be real quick. But it's in reference to the home production of liposomal vitamin C. And it's quite an easy process, but my question about the quality of vitamin C for the production of it, I've recently heard through a chiropractor that regardless of the quality of vitamin C that is the original part of the process, it goes through, all vitamin C is to some degree processed through a company in New Jersey, and there's an oil that's added, so then it may be produced with many, many different names, but it's got the component of that, what they do to it through that company, and it doesn't end up being the quality that it would have been if it hadn't been processed that way, if I'm explaining myself. So my question is, when we think that we're getting a food-grade vitamin C, where do we turn? Like if we need it in bulk, so that there's a possibility of us having the privilege of creating a quality liposomal at home?
Well, St. Georgie, the guy who discovered vitamin C, as ascorbic acid, took 10 grams a day of plain old ascorbic acid. Now, theoretically, if it's pure ascorbic acid, I would think most sources would be okay. My own preference for vitamins, any vitamin that I can get in general, is from a company called NOW Products. I trust them. I've used them for 40 years, and they're not nearly as expensive as a lot of other companies. And they do make a good ascorbic acid.
Now that ascorbic acid, in my limited understanding, see, I've heard a natural pharmacist say ascorbic acid is fine. And so it gets so confusing no matter how hard we try.
Yeah, you're going to find conflict in statements. All I can say is, having personally sat at the same table with St. Georgie, who discovered it, and having personally taken it all my life, I use ascorbic acid.
Well,
Deborah, you have a second question. Would you like to hold?
I will.
Great, thank you. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433. 33.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I'm a former 22-year congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I'm here to tell you about something that just might save your lives. You never know when there will be another Katrina, an economic collapse, or a serious drought. We should all have a little food storage that will carry us through tough times. I'm going to tell you about a great way to do that. A U.S. company named Harvest Right has a kitchen appliance that can help you be prepared. It's a home freeze dryer. With the product, you can preserve the foods your family loves. And the best part is the food will last 25 years and still taste great. I've tried it and it's amazing. With a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you can literally freeze dry anything you eat, even things like ice cream. To learn more, call Harvest Right today at 800-594-4635 or go to harvestright.com. That's 800-594-4635 or harvestright.com.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
That's Dr. Norman Shealy's with us. Deborah in Kentucky is on the line, and Deborah had a second question.
But before I get to that, I wanted to just mention that defatted lecithin works better to end up with a...
Now, I'm having trouble. All of a sudden, your voice is not as strong as it was. Can you speak a little louder?
Is this better?
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Before I ask my second question, I wanted to make mention for the class for people that might be interested in producing their own liposomal that defatted lecithin works better.
Oh, yeah, there's no question that a liposomal vitamin C is better absorbed and less irritating to the gut.
And Dr. Shealy, I stay away from soy. What would be your second or maybe primary recommendation for lecithin?
Well, the only other good source is egg.
Really?
And I don't know a company that makes egg lecithin, but there may be.
So sunflower, safflower, those are two primary.
I'm not aware of a large quantity there.
I don't know what you mean by that statement. Do you mean you're not aware of a resource for other than soy?
Right.
Okay. That's okay. I have one resource that I could share, but I don't have it right with me. That's safflower or sunflower. I don't remember. But the
Deborah,
other,
is there? Is there a reason why you're interested in liposomal vitamin C? Is there something that you're trying to manage?
Oh yes, I've been I haven't done it consistently enough, but learned about it about 4 years ago, and I'm just bringing it up because there could be an interest for other people that are listening, and it's a wonderful thing because otherwise it's quite expensive if you don't produce it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But the other
and you would use an ultrasonic cleaner to make this?
Yeah, that it's a very to me, I thought about it 5 or 10 years ago and gave up. It's too complex for me to try to make it.
I've done it, and I can't see, and it wasn't tough at all. It just
well, if you're willing to. Okay, I looked it up, and there is a sunflower source. Brain, of course, the best is animal brain. Has more or less than any other product percentage-wise, but you probably don't want to use that.
Oh, dear. Okay, I'll switch gears real quick, and this won't take but a minute. Low-dose naltrexone. That's something that I think that I need, and I don't do the medical system at all, but is there a possibility of procuring it without a prescription?
I don't know.
Okay. So
that I don't know.
Maybe a slight possibility through naturopath.
I'm sorry?
Maybe a slight possibility of being able to...
Well, you can find almost anything without a prescription online. It's a question of what country it's coming from and how much you trust it.
Oh, dear. But naturopaths might be a resource for that as a possibility.
Yeah, they certainly do often provide things like that. Every state is different with naturopathy. Like in the state of Missouri, they can practice, but they're not licensed.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, thank you so much.
Deborah, do you want to share with us why you want to use low-dose naltrexone?
Well, I've got a lot of complexity with my health, have had for a long time, and I think I've got several layers of infection. I do silver all the time, but I still haven't gotten it all clear.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of experience with naltrexone, but I can tell you that I would be leery of taking it without good professional supervision.
Thank you for that.
Deborah, there's an instructor at USA Prepares. Her name is Julia Schopick, Schopick. She's been on the air with us. Do you know of her?
Yes.
She wrote a book called Honest Medicine. And I will give you her phone number. I'll just mention her phone number when we come back. I'm sure she'll be delighted to hear from you. I'll just mention it when we come back. Thank you, Deborah.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682. 1682.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. NormShealy.com. NormShealy.com. And Honest Medicine was written by, it's a book written by Julia Schopick, Schopick. And it talks about effective, time-tested, inexpensive treatments for life-threatening diseases, including multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, liver disease, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and other diseases. And she talks about low-dose naltrexone. And she'll be on the air with us in the next couple of weeks. So just check the website, usaprepares.com. And if you'd like to contact her, here's her email address, Julia, Julia, at honestmedicine.com. Julia at honestmedicine.com. Dr. Shealy, I was putting on some magnesium lotion today, and I was wondering how it works. And Mrs. Finelli took a call from Joey in Michigan, And he wanted to know the same thing. So he uses magnesium lotion, uses it daily. It stops his pain. He has some joint pain. It stops it. I use it to keep my heart rate regular. And we're just, both of us were independently wondering, but at the same time, how does it work?
Well, interestingly, I did this study way back in the early 90s, and all through the 90s to a greater or less extent. Magnesium deficiency is exquisitely common. About 80% of people have magnesium deficiency. And the deficiency is associated with depression and anxiety and cancer and hypertension, and on it goes, because it is involved in 350 different enzymes. Oral magnesium is absorbed only in the distal colon. I don't know any other food or substance that's absorbed only in the distal colon. So it has to stay in your intestinal tract, top to bottom, a minimum of 12 to 14 hours to be absorbed. Secondly, it is magnesium absorption is markedly decreased if you take it with calcium. And third, it is markedly decreased in absorption if you have fat in your gut at the same time. So we found that magnesium chloride in a solution, and it can be water, but you have to soak it in a long time, or the lotion, which you can just rub on and put on your clothes, is absorbed considerably better. And the interesting positive additional effect of using it on the skin is it helps to restore DHEA, or dehydroepiandrosterone, the single most pertinent, important hormone in the human body. And in fact, if you really want to know whether you are at risk of disease, you think you're healthy, if you're over the age 40, get a free DHEA level in your blood. And if you are below the upper 50% of the lab range, you are already on the way to having disease as a result of magnesium deficiency. So magnesium is very much at the top of my list, right up there with vitamin D3 in importance.
Dr. Shealy, so if magnesium is so important and we can't absorb it easily orally, then wouldn't it make sense to just apply a magnesium lotion like your magnesium lotion daily? I mean, doesn't it make sense just to do that?
Well, of course it does, because we need magnesium every day. Interestingly, magnesium balances the electrical charge on your cells. In the nervous system, at least, every cell has a negative charge on it. That negative charge on the cell is maintained by having magnesium inside the cell rather than in the bloodstream. And we need about a minimum of 2.5 to 4 grams of magnesium intake every day, because that's how much gets turned over. And so if we don't, we survive without it, but it steals it from your bones. So one of the causes of osteoporosis is inadequate intake of magnesium on a regular basis, because the body builds up all of its bone structure early in life, and now if you don't get it every day, you're gradually absorbing it from your bones.
Dr. Shealy, when I was growing up in the 1950s, I would hear my grandmother talking about taking an Epsom salt bath, EPSOM space SALT. Is that similar, the same?
Well, that is magnesium sulfate. In our experience, it's about 40% as good as magnesium chloride. You know, it's not bad. Halitosis, better no breath at all. But the magnesium chloride is much better.
So the benefits of Epsom salts were widely touted back in the 50s, and you don't hear that much about it anymore, or is it just me?
No, you don't hear that much about it because we've got over-the-counter ibuprofen and God knows what other junk drug for your aches and pains, which are much, much less useful and more dangerous.
Okay, so if
I
we
know
want to
to express myself.
So if we want to detoxify, magnesium chloride bath? Is that what we're saying?
You can get it. We sell 3-pound bags of the magnesium chloride.
Okay. How much is a 3-pound bag roughly?
Oh, now, Vincent, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit then.
One thing I don't carry in my brain is prices like that. I just don't remember it.
Okay. Can you get a cough? Can you get a hernia from coughing and coughing and coughing, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Then what is a hernia?
Well, it is a movement of something into an area where it doesn't belong and isn't ordinarily found. Now, people know of an inguinal hernia, one in the groin, and that's a piece of the intestine coming down through the normal, really strong membrane that keeps it from coming down, out under the skin in a woman or even down into the scrotum in a man. But there are hiatal hernia where the stomach goes up through the diaphragm, and then they're called so-called umbilical hernias where it comes out through the belly button.
And if you experience that, do you just push it back in, or what do you do?
Well, of course, and if you don't push it back in, it can, quote, strangulate, which means the hole it goes through may cut off the blood supply. That's particularly pertinent in the groin more than anyplace else.
Okay. So if that happens, do you recommend just relaxing and trying
Lie
to...
down.
Yep.
Breathe slowly and deeply, very calmly, and reach down and push it back in. But if it keeps coming out, you're going to need to do something about it because it does carry a risk of strangulation.
Okay. Dr. Shealy, there are over 2,200 people in India whom have contracted HIV after a transfusion. So tainted blood, bad blood, has given over 2,200 people HIV that didn't have it before. How concerned should we be if we're going to have surgery of having a transfusion and getting a disease that we weren't expecting?
Well, in the United States, in general, I think we can say the chances are 99.9% that the blood being given is not contaminated with HIV. But there's always that slight rare thing that can slip through.
Okay, so what we've done in the past, if someone was scheduled for surgery in our family, we would find a blood match for that person within our family. We would donate the blood, and that blood would be designated for the patient that is going to have surgery in our family. Do you recommend that, or are we just...
Well, I think it's a wonderful, humanitarian, if you would, common sense thing. No question about it. It's a wonderful thing. In general, of course, they still have to meet the blood type.
Sure.
But somewhere in the family, there's likely to be someone with the same blood type.
And that's what we found in our family. So that's what we've done, whenever someone has needed surgery. And typically, it takes a couple of weeks before you can use that blood. For some reason, it takes a long time. Okay. There's a story that I found on the internet about this 1-year-old. This 1-year-old baby, not in the United States, who was born and has the male organs of an adult. And this 1-year-old has sexual urges and the testosterone levels of a 25-year-old. What's to make of that?
Yes, I found that article on the internet, and it does happen. According to what I found on the internet, excess testosterone and precocious puberty are said to be 1 in 100,000. I have have doubt about that. I suppose it's possible. I mean, I know it happens. I just am.
You think it's more rare than that?
I think it's rarer than that, to say the least.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I'm right. It could be, but any of it is a risk to the person's life long term, because having that testosterone peak before mid-teens to late teens or early 20s, it prematurely ages the body, among other things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I noticed in this particular child, they are indeed treating him with some kind of hormonal suppression in order to keep that process from getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay. When we come back, may we talk about these cans of Red Bull and drinks like that young people seem to be addicted to. And there's a story on the internet of a young mother who drank up to 20 cans of it for 20 cans a day for years and damaged her liver. Let's talk about it when we come back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Did you know a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-941-9796.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs, and it eliminates the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto, your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer only available by calling 1-800-941-9796. That's 1-800-941-9796.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com, if you'd like to learn more about magnesium lotion or his other products. Dr. Shealy, there's a woman, 26-year-old, who drank up to 20 cans of this Red Bull, which is a energy drink, a day, and for years, and she damaged her liver. Her medical professionals thought she was an alcoholic because her liver damage was so extensive. And so she was even conjuring up explanations when she would buy so many cans at a time at the store. So this high sugar energy drink, she thought she needed a little lift in the beginning and then became addicted.
Well, she's lucky to be alive, Vance. Seriously.
Yeah.
I saw.
And this is a warning.
Yeah, I saw a young lady in her early 20s a couple of years ago who actually appeared in the emergency room from taking those high energy drinks during exam time. So it is a serious risk to your life. I would not take one of them, let alone many.
Mm-hmm. And I know a man. He's a husband and a father, and I believe he's addicted. And he would go out looking for these cans of these high energy drinks. I mean, I literally saw it, and he could not do without it. Literally could not do without it. And I guess it becomes so addictive you can't do without it. So
it is possible, of course, to wean from it like everything else. Now, I'd love to see someone like that, if they're available, come in to see Mas Sahadi next week. Mas is a spiritual healer that I trust, that I'm going to be evaluating his effect on EEG and other aspects of healing. And anybody in the greater Springfield area who's interested should get in touch with me so I can schedule them to come in and have Mas work on them.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen with this particular person because he's probably a several thousand-mile round trip away from Springfield. But other than that, I certainly try to make that happen. But and also the weight gain, Dr. Shealy. This woman went from a size 16, which is big enough, to a size 24.
Right. It is the common, sugar in general and excess calories are the common cause of obesity and diabetes and death.
And that was one of my questions. Is it bread and sugar that are doing a lot of damage to us and to our waistlines and are causing us to gain? Okay. And, sugar, Dr. Shealy, you said it, sugar is really addictive and it's hard to get away from it.
The way to get away from it is to use Gymnema. Open the capsule of Gymnema, put just a few grains, one capsule will last you 2 or 3 days, on your tongue, and you will not be able to taste sweet for 3 to 4 hours. Do that 3 times a day, and you can help wean yourself from that junk.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Shealy, what are your other thoughts about the dangers of sugar?
Well, the dangers are primarily, of course, diabetes, but also cancer and heart disease. Mm-hmm. I mean, the top causes of death are significantly increased by sugar. And, by the way, going back to the man boobs, remember, the most common cause of gynecomastia in men is obesity because fat tissue, even in men, produces estrogen.
So how do we lose this weight, Dr. Shealy? I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking about those who put on more than they wanted to. What's the best way to lose weight?
Wheat of all kinds, and you give up added sugar of all kinds. That's at the top of the list. Now, we do know that people who will use fire bliss and water bliss, or fire bliss and air bliss, it can assist the process of weight loss. But it's not worth doing that unless you're willing to cut out the sugar and
the junk. Sugar is that bad.
Sugar is that bad.
Dr. Shealy, thank you so much.
It is a poison.
Sugar is a poison. Dr. Shealy, you've been saying this for years, and I think when people first heard you say it, they thought, nah, can't be.
It's just as true today as it was years ago.
Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for being with us. Class,
have a good day.
Above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from NewHarvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all-natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at NewHarvestFoods.com. That's NewHarvestFoods.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
3.